The news.
Doozy.
There was so much happening in the news that I was like, we have got to talk about it.
My Threads feed today was just like, it was like martial law, birth control, gays, martial law, birth control, gays. And I just was like, okay, well, this is super fun. I love it here.
Sprinkle in a little ballroom on the White House.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sprinkle in a little
Go
meeting with
swim.
Putin. A little meeting with Putin in Alaska.
Perfect. What could go wrong?
I mean, I just the amount of absolute. You've heard Steve Bannon probably say at some point that the Republicans' goal is to flood the zone. If you flood the zone, you've confused everyone. They don't know where to look. They don't know what to focus on. And the truth of the matter is that today was the most flooded zone I think I've experienced in quite some time, starting with the fact that this morning I'm having my coffee and watching the press conference of the United States of America's president. And he's bringing the National Guard and the FBI and take all that to DC and taking over the police force all at the same time. So what were
Cool.
you doing when you heard that this morning?
Well, I actually saw it on Threads last night, and it was like something that said tomorrow Trump is going to deploy all of these military forces essentially into DC. He's going to take control of the DC Metro Police, et cetera, et cetera. And basically the conversation was around like what this actually is versus martial law. So like what are the differences between what he's enacting now versus martial law? And basically like the thesis is that he's testing the waters in larger cities to kind of like preemptively see how this goes essentially. So um I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that will like we have no idea how this is going to pan out. Um so super fun, super lit. Love that for us. Love that. It's going to be great. But I'm just honestly I'm horrified for like all of the people I know in DC who are just having to deal with the absolute shit show that
The
is this
insanity.
man as our
Well,
president. So
do you remember like what they used as the catalyst to kick this off? Like what the incident was in DC that
no,
they were like, "Oh, let's grab onto that and
I
bring in the
literally
National Guard."
I
Um,
thought to myself, I go, what happened in DC that like what did
yeah.
I miss?
So remember Doge? Remember how that's all we heard about every day for all the days and the task force that was Doge, and now
It's gone.
another example of like it's like look over here, no look over here, no look over
Yeah.
here. So anyway, remember when Big Balls was his name?
Yeah, the
They're
coder.
like the like young 23,
Yeah.
24-year-old coder. So apparently he was in DC and he got beat up or like attacked by a group of people because he was trying to stop a like a woman from getting robbed or something. I don't know. I don't know. But this was the thing. So like Elon Musk starts tweeting, sorry, pregnancy. Elon Musk starts tweeting that DC is like unsafe, and then Trump is like we've got to do something about the crime. The crime is outrageous. And I mean, I'm sure anybody who's following what's going on knows that the crime rate is on the decline.
Yeah,
In
what?
DC, it's at a 30-year
I was gonna
low.
say, isn't it
Yeah,
super
it's
low
like
right now? Yeah.
violent crimes have decreased by 25% and regular, like petty crime by like 7%. But nonetheless, I mean, he's painting this picture that like DC and other large cities, Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, all cities that have mayors that are Democrats, um, painting these pictures that like all of these places are just overrun with bad people and people who are homeless, and he's got to come in and clean it all up. And I just thought to myself, the way that this man is so desperate for us to stop talking about the Epstein files that
Oh
they
my
have
God.
curated they have curated the scenario in which he thinks that he can sell the United States of America on the fact that he has to bring in the National Guard and take over the police force of a city.
There is just the filthiest shit in the Epstein files, and you know it. Like, there is I saw a tweet today that was like, uh, he was considering taking, like, possession charges for marijuana down from a felony to a misdemeanor, and somebody, like, quoted it and was like, "He did some fucked up shit in those Epstein files," and I was like, "Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely." Like,
Mhm.
this is all a diversion from, yeah, flooding the zone, it's all a diversion from your attention on this
But
specific thing.
the problem is, and I said this morning on our call for the Seneca Project, I was like, we can't let it. Like, the problem is that the
Yeah.
mainstream media, who I do respect. I'm not a person who
Oh, yeah.
thinks that like journalists are out to do the wrong thing. I think that the mainstream media journalists are following the direction of their overlords.
Yeah, who owns
but
them?
but I
Yeah.
mean, and the truth of the matter is that when the president does something, it's news, whether it's the news we want or not, right?
Mhm.
So we were talking this morning and I was like, we cannot let up. Like, we as the public have to go, okay, we see you. Anyway, where are the Epstein files?
Yeah, where are they?
They
Yeah,
have to we
yeah,
have to just keep going,
absolutely.
nope,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
back on track. Which, like, for those of us who may or may not have ADHD, not the easiest task, but we have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's like it's also arguably more important that that Republicans help do that, help divert that attention back because if they're just going to keep going with okay, yeah, we have this other thing to worry about, the crime rate, like we have to focus on that, then there's no accountability. The thing that was holding him accountable was the fact that there were conservatives who were also chiming in like, "Hey, where are those files? Like, you mentioned that when you were, running on this platform again." So I think it is crucial that we have people on the right who are also doing that. So I
Yeah.
hope that, I haven't been admittedly, like, keeping up with I don't I don't really, like, give a fuck about what conservatives are, like, up to a whole lot, but, like, they do but that was one thing I did appreciate about, like, a couple of weeks ago with all of the Epstein file talk is
Yeah.
that like, all of these conservatives were like, "Hey, also, what's
Yeah.
happening here?" So, I think that's also a crucial component of this entire thing. So,
And maybe the largest component
yeah.
is
Mhm.
is to I was gonna say, is to expect a criminal to stop crime.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
yeah.
let's be fucking for real right now.
Mhm, mhm.
Donald Trump is a criminal. He is a felon. And if we would like to reduce crime in DC, maybe escort him kindly away from the city.
Literally the blind leading the blind. Like,
I
what
don't
are we doing?
I can't even understand. We talk about it all the time, but like, how are you a person who supports Donald Trump and out of the side of your mouth you're like, we're, law and order. I'm like, "The what?" I just God. Anyway, on to the
Yeah,
more ridiculous things. The other thing he announced in the same press conference. I'm beating my desk because what is the world that we live in? In the same press conference, he did in fact confirm that after they tore apart the Rose Garden and made it look like a fucking Miami Motel 6 whatever, they are adding a ballroom onto the White House. But
I literally hate it here. I hate it here.
but but we can't afford healthcare. We can't afford research for various types of cancer.
Anything. Yeah, we can't afford to research
I
anything,
actually
Mallory.
I need to look up how much Ballroom White House
Isn't it
DC.
like a isn't it like 20,000,000 or something? Or like
I thought it was more, but I could be conflating numbers. Oh, 200,000,000.
200,000,000. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because it's so it's the so the co- this the White House State Ballroom will have a seated capacity of 650 people, which is much larger than the East Room's capacity of 200. So yeah, we can spend $200 million on a room added on to the people's house.
That shit's insane. Like, also saw somebody on Threads who was like, uh, "A man building something like this does not plan to leave." And I was like, "Yeah, that's
Oh,
real." Like, mhm.
that's
I was like,
true.
"That's dark."
What
Like,
what I thought was hilarious was he said something like, "This is my hobby. This is what I like to do in my spare time. Real estate's my thing," or whatever. Like, that's me, paraphrasing. And I thought to myself, because we love nothing more than when the country is literally circling the drain and the president's like, "You know what I like to do in my free time? Golf and build ballrooms."
he's like, "You know what my hobbies are? You know what my
Yeah, I'm
hobbies
like, "I'm
is?"
sorry, none of us have any free time. Why? Because we're all working for below."
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't have a hobby.
Yeah, no hobbies. We're all trying to survive. Meanwhile, the president's like, "I'm gonna go over here and cheat at golf, and then I'm gonna build a ballroom. And while I'm at it, could you guys gold plate my fucking office and
And
take down the
also
pictures of Obama?"
it is on the taxpayer's dime, by the way. Like, he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just
I
gonna do
I
this
also
with your money."
just the ornate gold crap that they're just putting up everywhere. It the pictures of the interior of the White House are embarrassing.
Atrocious. Yeah,
They're
atrocious.
embarrassing.
It's so like, when I think about, like, how Michelle Obama probably, like, just did the most bang up job decorating the interior of the White House, like, it probably just looked like a fucking museum
No,
in there.
I don't see her doing that at all. I see her being
Really?
like, "Fucking decorate the White House? Are you kidding me? That's not
I
what."
feel like she was probably into it. I don't know.
Really?
At least during his first term. Second term, she's
Maybe.
been, "Yeah, fuck that."
I could see her
But, like,
caring about, like, the holiday stuff, like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
wanting those
yeah,
things to be
for sure. But then,
maybe.
like, this is the same place that, like, fucking Jackie Onassis was, like, decorated. Like, it's like,
It's
"Oh
the
my
Rose
god.
Garden.
We have destroyed every ounce of class that America had at any given point." It's just like, "God
I mean,
damn
I
it."
feel like the next thing he's gonna say is that he's adding a bathtub to the middle of the ballroom for
Literally,
his Vegas style orgies that are coming through, because
100%.
what else? I mean, I
100%.
just I just couldn't believe that in the year of our Lord 2025, I was watching a press conference this morning where my president, unfortunately, was talking about both militarizing a city and building a ballroom.
And gold plating the White House.
Literally, like, in a 4-minute span. I just was
It's
like,
so bonkers.
I'm
It's
living in the twilight zone.
it makes me think of, somebody mentioning how people responded in was it North Korea? When he declared martial law last year and they all, like, they overthrew the government, basically.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it makes me think of, like, how that would look in America and if we would ever have a chance at, like, any kind of political upheaval like that from the people. And that's, like, something I continuously think about when I hear these, like, egregious stories of, like, complete opposite ends of the spectrum of things happening. Like, we're gold plating the White House, and we're also basically declaring martial law in Washington, DC. Like, I think to myself, is anybody else just thinking about, like, overthrowing this shit? Like, surely we are,
Well,
right? Like, surely there's people who are like, we're, like, ready to, like, we ride at dawn type vibes.
I
But
think the problem is, and has been since the election, is people don't know how.
how?
Like
Yeah, exactly.
we're not gonna January 6 it. That's not the right thing to do.
I don't know, when they go low, I think I go lower.
Well, no, but
I think
also,
we
I
just
mean,
burn
maybe
it
I'm about to
down.
make my own point. I also think that there's a level of apathy. Like, there's a
Yeah.
level of, like, you've got some people who have no idea how bad it is. They're just, like, living in la la land.
Mhm.
selling their supplements on fucking Instagram. And then you've got other people who are like, "It's terrible, but I don't know what to do." And then
Yeah.
you've got Pepper Ann down here going
Oh,
insane.
Pepper
Heather, come
Ann.
say hi to everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
Pepper
guys.
Ann. Oh my
Hi.
goodness. Look at that angel. Hello.
I had to order her something from the Zon. I'm so sorry, and I'm pretty sure that the driver is going to come while we're on here. So if she starts freaking out, that's why.
That's fine. Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's like people who are like, how would this actually work? Like, what would this look like if we were to do something like this? Um, yeah, I think that's a really fair point. And also when Democrats have also kind of been like pretty complacent too. Like we're sort of like, where the fuck are you? What are we doing here? Like what? So I think that's another piece of it where it's like, while we see him doing all of this stuff, he seems to just be getting away with it. So whoopsie
Yeah,
daisies.
I also think one of the major stopgaps of him in his first term was the military, was
Yeah.
actually military leaders, high up, generals and people who really were like, sorry, that's not how this works. Like, can't do
Yeah.
that. And that's why when he first came into office and started firing everyone that didn't agree with him, people were starting to shout from the rooftops because those are the people who are in the rooms with him that have the ability and the clout and the honor to say,
Yeah.
I serve the country, I serve the Constitution, I do not serve a president, and
Yeah.
we're not doing that. And there's been a lot of conversation in and around where I live, because we're a military town, and people are a little freaked out by the fact that
Yeah.
there is a concerted effort by Trump and Hegseth to eliminate people who do not think like them and place people
Mhm.
in positions of power that will do exactly what they want. So when there's no one there to check, and then you've got
Yeah.
the Supreme Court, same thing, which by the way,
Great, great segue. Great segue. Just you're on it this week with the segues. You've done a
hey.
ton of very good ones. Um,
Yeah. So let's talk about this bitch, Kim
this
Davis.
bitch in Kentucky.
Let's talk about this bitch in Kentucky. First of
Hang on.
all,
Wait, let me pull up a quick photo.
oh, are you gonna show? Yeah, so we're live on our phones. We've got to figure out the stream key situation to do this on our computers.
Kentucky
Um,
one.
yeah, Kim Davis. So the crazy thing about this is, so I remember. So when I was competing in Miss America and my first year in Miss New York, my best friend Claire, who later like became the officiant in my wedding, like she's my best friend. Claire was out championing as Miss New York for her Straight for Equality Let's Talk. Kim Davis,
That's
you.
the scariest woman I've ever seen in my life.
Um, but I remember Claire being at the forefront of this legislation in New York in particular. And I remember being so proud of her and the work she had done to bring awareness to the fact that same sex marriage was basically, in my mind, a right, and like people deserve to be able to marry who they want, yada yada. And then that work being done, and then it passing, and like law of the land, right? Super, super exciting. And what I think is so sad about the moment that we're in right now is that I think there were so many people in this last election cycle who just didn't, just like Roe v. Wade, they just didn't think this was going to be on the chopping block. And I think there are a lot of Gen Z folks who didn't show up. And Gen Z, by and large, identifies more in the LGBT community than any other generation before.
Yeah,
So that part, that part really is
that
like,
part.
yeah.
That part. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, well, she looks like Michelle Duggar. So like she kind of looks like
Don't even, I don't even like Michelle Duggar, but don't even do that to Michelle Duggar.
She looks like if Michelle Duggar was euthanized. So,
So
like,
so
that
for folks who don't remember, so this lady, like, I can't ever say his name, Obergefell? Obergefell? I can't ever say it, I'm sorry.
Who?
It's the name of the, uh, Supreme Court case.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Obergefell v. Hodges. Obergefell.
Yeah.
Or I'm so glad that
It can't be that they cannot be that hard to say. Okay.
it's Obergefell. What's worse is that I actually went to an event with him once. He was a very nice man, Jim. But
Yeah.
anyway, so this case came up to be because Kim refused a marriage license. And then the couple that she refused the marriage license to, I guess, like, sued her for $100,000 and then another $250,000. And anyway, so she's coming back trying to overturn that decision and basically saying, you all decided that marriage equality was a thing based on, I think it was the 14th Amendment, and no, it's not. And I'm asking you to reconsider. And, like, as much as I would love to think that they're not going to reconsider, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't know.
if, yeah, I don't have much faith.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, at this point, I wouldn't put it past our Supreme Court to do, I don't
Can I
know,
tell you something I
anything.
found out about Kim?
Please do.
Are you ready? I just
Sure.
I just looked her up, and I was like, Can I tell you how many times Kim's been married?
Hasn't she been married, like, a shitload of times?
Kim's been married 4 fucking times. 4 times, and twice to the same man with another man in the middle. It seemed like, if you look at the dates, it's giving somebody had an affair, and then
Uh-huh,
they got
uh-huh,
divorced, and yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Anyway, nothing like the
that's
sanctity of marriage.
crazy work.
Nothing like talking about the sanctity of marriage in a court case, and you've been married 4 times.
She's so fucking stupid, man. I also would love to know what, church she's a part of. I wonder what her, like,
Oh,
what
I
religion is.
I'm sure we can find out. We'll just save that for
Sure,
time.
it's the KKK. No, I'm
We'll
just
have to
kidding.
save that for the next one. But yeah, I just was like, I mean, just these 3 things today, and then there's internet speculation about whether or not Taylor Swift is gonna join the New Heights podcast.
You told me this, and I feel like a really bad, like, Swiftie, a really bad Taylor Swift fan, but, like, she is kind of I feel like she's kind of on, like, my shit list right now, and
Ooh, what?
I well, okay, so, like, I don't know, I guess I saw her in concert a couple of summers ago and on the Eras Tour and loved it. It was amazing, magical, all the things, and then shortly after that, I started to experience a lot of burnout, right? Because, like, that was the fall that she was, like, being featured at all of the football games, and yeah, she was everywhere, and so, like, cool, that's great, I'm so glad that she has a partner and, like, all of the things, fine. Um, However, I will say that, like, I had some sincere burnout as it relates to that, but then I guess I just kept getting more and more, like, angry at the sheer fact that she just wasn't, like, saying anything about, like, gestures broadly, and her only real, sort of thing that she did was she endorsed Kamala Harris, which, is no different than what she did in 2020 with Biden, and
Wait,
so
did she endorse Kamala?
mhm, and
Mm.
but it came super late. It was like, she didn't endorse her until, like, I don't know, maybe, like, October or something, like, September, October, and I was like, "Come on, man," like, it like, I don't know. I have a really hard time with, like, holding celebrities or, people in the limelight to, like, a certain standard of, "We need to know your political affiliation, and we need to know every single opinion and thought that comes through your head." Obviously, that's not I'm not saying that, but, like, I do think there is a broader, like, responsibility, right, that comes with the platform of that size, like, just in terms of kind of morally, I don't know, ethically, I'm not sure, but it's I really have struggled with her, like, blatant silence about everything from everything that Trump is doing to Palestine to like just everything. I'm sort of like, girl, where you at? Like,
Yeah.
what are you up to, my girl? Like, sounds
Yeah.
like you're buying property in Ohio.
I
But like, I don't know. It's hard because she's a celebrity. So it's like, what weight should we give to a celebrity's like opinion or influence? I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, hers is massive.
Right. Yeah.
Massive, and it's intergenerational, and I think
Yeah. Mhm.
understanding the ways that she can infiltrate conversations, family,
Yeah.
like, it's a lot more to me than the average, like,
Oh, yeah.
who's another, like, a A-list celebrity? Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston,
A-list celebrity is not getting an entire family at the dinner table to talk about what Donald Trump is doing. Taylor Swift,
right.
she says something, it's different. Um, well, the name of the podcast that they were on is gonna leave me, but they were on a podcast that's known for, like, right wing bro culture, whatever, not too long ago. And I hate that I didn't look that up before we got on here because I just didn't even think of it.
Wait, Travis and Taylor?
Mhm. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
People were like, wait, what? Uh,
No.
yeah, I'll have to look it up. Let's see. Travis and Taylor podcast, right wing.
Um,
It was like a, yeah, it was like a bar stool.
no way.
Oh, they weren't on the podcast. Maybe they were just, like, hanging out with the people. Taylor Lewan and Will Compton.
Will Compton. That
I don't
sounds
know. All I
so
remember is that the pictures were, like, circulating and people were like, "What the fuck?"
well, it's like her and, like, Brittany Mahomes. It's like,
Mhm.
girl.
Same.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the only reason I thought about this was that Travis and his brother have the podcast, and she's never been on it. And so
Yeah.
people are speculating as to whether or not she's their next guest. I don't know why, but, that would be interesting if it were the case.
Fascinating. Yeah. Huh.
But
That's super interesting. I didn't know that about the Barstool, like, people.
yeah, I'll have to send it to you. Anyway, what
Interesting.
else? Anything else today?
Oh, fuck, Mallory. I like, no, I'm
Oh, last thing today. It's Monday. Our episode dropped with Caroline Stout.
yes, it did, and,
And it's really good.
I think people are really liking it, especially, like, the folks from the old Tiki Talkie. Um, yeah, Caroline, I think, has such an interesting perspective on, like I would be actually super curious to know her perspective on what we just talked about with, like, celebrities being involved in sharing like political beliefs and advocating for certain causes related to politics. I would be really curious to know her thoughts on that
Mhm.
because I just think she has such an interesting perspective coming from just like crazy conservatism, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, all of it,
Well,
the
also
combs of it
people who
all.
love to say, "Stick to singing, stick to television,"
Yeah,
as they elect, a man who was a reality TV star, so
literally, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do, we'll do. But yeah, it's an amazing episode. She left me with like a lot of nuggets to really marinate
Mhm.
on. Like I think I thought a lot about like people in my life who I know who I have maybe like I don't know set a pretty intense boundary with. We'll call it
Yeah.
that
Uh,
over the election. Yeah. So it really has given me a lot to think about, I think, in terms of just political ideologies and how we shift people and how we can help people understand more
yeah.
of what we believe in. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I have to say, she made me like, maybe there is hope for some of these stupid people.
I know, I know.
Maybe there is hope, but also
And
I get
hope is a
frustrated.
dangerous thing.
I get frustrated because I'm like, we all have the same access to information. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have these little Google machines in our hand. Tell me why I can seem to find accurate information and decipher what's what, and other people cannot.
Yeah,
Um, but,
totally.
but anyway, if you're watching, listen to our episode. It was a good one. And if you haven't already, share something from Pretty Furious with someone that you know. We're,
Subscribe.
we're trying to grow. So we
Be
appreciate
sure
it.
to subscribe. Gorge. Well, maybe we'll do like these little lives.
Yeah, maybe Caroline
Oh,
will next time.
maybe
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 bring
this will
some of our
be a
friends.
fun weekly thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
Cute.
see. Okay. Well, happy chaotic Monday, manic Monday.
Hope that tomorrow is like chiller question mark, but will it be? Probably not.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. We don't know. Maybe we
Un-
just need to dissect it. I don't know. Cool.
Unclear. Well, love you, mean it. See you
Love you,
soon.
mean it.
Bye.
Bye.